This one reminded me of the first 48.
First 48.
What's
What was
that?
that again?
It's where
It's like a murder
there's
show?
a murder.
Oh, yeah.
And it counts down to the deadline of the 2-day point where
That
they
show's
just
stressful.
give
That's
up.
a stressful show.
Wow.
I feel like I've never seen that show where they actually caught the guy. It's always like, well,
Oh,
I've just never seen one.
Yeah,
Do they do it often?
I say half the time they catch the guy.
Yeah.
And like,
Really?
it's always a guy like breaking down. Like he thought he'd get away with it,
And he admits
2
it.
days later he didn't.
He's a
you know?
dummy.
Yeah, I think he envisioned himself being on the run for like his whole life now,
Yeah.
and then like bam,
Yeah,
caught.
that sounds like
He's like, I could only do it for
blast.
2 days.
Yeah.
Well, all you gotta do is kill somebody. Don't come after me. Thank you very much.
Being on the run, man. Oh,
I couldn't do it.
losing your whole identity.
You know, there's a show like that called... I don't even know if it is still around. Maybe it only had one season. I almost got away with it. And they basically interview these guys in jail, and they tell the craziest fucking stories. They basically find some guy who was on the run for like 5 years, and it's like, what was it like? And he just talks about all the moments where they almost caught me and didn't, but eventually they did. And you know that's happening, so it's really fascinating.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That sounds
It's
cool.
basically, every episode is just about who has the biggest balls. That's it. I almost got away with it. It's just like the ballsiest guys on the run. There was one dude who he had a talent for just impersonating different careers. So he was in the military and impersonated being like a 5-star general and did that for like a year and a half.
What?
And then he became like a city planner for Los Angeles by pretending to be an architect. Architect, yes.
Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah.
brain fart. I know that word. And he actually left the job in Los Angeles when they started looking into, like, who is this guy? What's his background? He faked getting a job proposal from the White House. And L.A. was like, oh, you're moving on to bigger and better things? All right, we don't need to look into him. He's
And
not
he
even,
dropped it.
Yeah, he's not even going to work here next month. He's going on to work for the government. Don't worry about it. And the most
great.
impressive thing, all that sounds really impressive, but the one that impressed me the most, he flees and goes to Canada at one point, and he pretends to be a conductor and calls up the local symphony up there and actually conducts an opera.
What?
But they gotta know he doesn't know what he's doing.
No! He's like, I basically scheduled my concert and I had 2 weeks to prepare, and I went and I rented every video I could find of symphony footage, and I just studied the maestro, and I just got up there and I just
winged it.
Wow.
Yeah, I winged it, and I had the time of my life, and nobody knew, and I was just sitting there being like, this guy has the biggest fucking balls on earth.
Well,
Who does this?
Recently in the news, Obama was giving a speech at Nelson Mandela's funeral, and there was an interpreter doing sign language on stage.
Oh, yeah.
Who was just making it
She
up.
was she didn't know how to sign
It
language.
was a dude.
Yeah, it was the dude.
It was a guy. He was making it up, and they caught him. And he had been busted for doing this like years prior. And all that.
But he was doing it for Obama.
Yeah,
Right? It was
he
for
was
Obama?
standing 5 feet away from the president.
Bullshitting.
Yeah.
Awesome.
How
And
did
if he was
do-
that much of a liar, I mean, he could have been a secret
How
assassin.
did he do it for that long?
Just because where these events were, there's like maybe 1 or 2 deaf people in the audience who just
They
don't say anything. Go
That's
figure.
Anyway,
Crazy.
so Kudaragi's Way documentary
That shit.
was
Yeah.